Are geese your, do you feel like they're your personal, do you have a personal connection to them, or is that a particular affinity to that group, or
No, not really. They just happen to be here a lot, and they are quite loud, so they make their presence known.
I was reminding me of a little video clip on social media, which was a American Indian looking at a hawk and being like, here's what white people do when they see a hawk, and like, here's what we do. And they're like, oh, thank you, like, for answering my question. I was just wondering about that. And then the hawk came and you told me exactly what you clarified my thinking, and like using the animal world, the natural world to like interact with in a more personal way.
Yeah, people who have not been completely mesmerized by modernity still recognize these other sources of information.
Was there a particular inciting incident that gave you an aha moment about the story of interbeing?
There's been a succession of moments that have initiated me more and more deeply into that story. And I would also say that there's a lot of ways in which I'm still completely lodged in the story of separation. I'm not, I'm a normal person, really. Highly evolved in some ways, and in kindergarten in other ways.
I'm wondering, like, how you first articulated it. Like, what was the process that coalesced this story for you to be able to articulate it?
Well, it really began when I started putting together the pieces of my first book, The Ascent of Humanity, which was about the origin and expression of the story of separation, the discrete and separate self in a world of other. Because I had just moved back to suburbia. I had been living in Taiwan through my 20s. And it was not, our situation wasn't so great for raising kids. We were in a polluted city. Anyway, we moved back to suburbia, and instead of the kind of neighborhood that I grew up in with kids outside playing stickball and hopscotch and running around and cops and robbers, it was empty. Not because there were no kids. There was a lot of young families and a lot of kids, but you hardly ever saw kids playing outside. They were all indoors. And I began understanding why, on one level, because of television, because of automobiles, because of air conditioning, because of the layout of suburbia, because of zoning that makes you never have anywhere to walk and only have somewhere to drive, because of, there were many, many social and technological things, but deeper down, I'm like, okay, this is a trajectory of separation from each other. Oh, and it's related to our separation from nature, and related to the money system, which also induces competition and separates us and degrades community, and also to science. And so I began putting all these pieces together and coming to see pretty much everything that I saw. War too. This was like right around 9/11, like, oh, everything that disturbs me about the world is an outgrowth of this story of separation, the discrete separate self. And it's reaching a crisis. It has grown to epic proportions and is generating its own crises that then they must be a birth crisis. Because when I trace the story back, it goes back thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, even to pre-human times. Eukaryotic cells are more separate from each other than prokaryotic cells. They keep all their DNA in the nucleus, whereas prokaryotes are always exchanging DNA, and conjugating together and exchanging plasmids, like eukaryotes. So I understood that it's not about undoing or reversing the age of separation and abolishing technology, abolishing agriculture, abolishing language. I mean, language, that was a step into separation, where you name the world. It's the first step in the mastery that then takes the form of domestication. Like I went into some like pretty deep anti-civilization philosophers, right? And I took it even farther back in my mind, oh, maybe we should abolish fire, abolish stone tools, abolish the eukaryotic cell. Obviously, that's ridiculous. All of this is built on itself, and it's leading somewhere toward what? Toward a convergence of crises generated by itself. That is a birth crisis into something else. That's the only thing that made sense. And that's when I began thinking, what is the new story that underpins the age of reunion, the regathering of all of these lost parts of ourselves? And that's when I started to talk of a revolution in human beingness. And I started using the word interbeing, which I later found out is a term in Buddhism, actually. Thich Nhat Hanh is the one who popularized it. I'm not sure if he coined it or not, but I want to give honor to Thich Nhat Hanh for bringing this word into currency. But it occurs naturally because it's to anyone thinking about this, because it's not only that we're interdependent, it's that we're interexistent. And there's other threads too that contributed to this, and also direct experiences like the one you're talking about. Psychedelic experiences were big for me. Experiences in Taiwan that violated my inherited understanding of what's real and what's possible and how the world works. All these things contributed to inducing me into this new story.
Hey friend, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this particular clip, then I have something else I want to tell you about, which is the League of Superconductors. It's a business mastermind that I run to elevate the greatest change makers of our time. That is people that I like to call quantum entrepreneurs, metaphysical, spiritual teachers, healers, coaches, light workers of different types. And this is a year-long business mastermind starting in May of 2022. So if that's the type of thing that you're looking for, if you're looking to better fuel your mission by having a business that brings in all the abundance you're looking for, that both operates at the 3D level, serving the people of Earth, and at a multi-dimensional level, bringing in all of the higher wisdom and experience that you have access to, that's what we're doing. So if that sounds like something for you, then you can check out the link below, read a little bit more about the program, what we do each month. And I also invite you to apply for a call with me, a strategy session. We can get to know each other. I'll coach you a little bit, and you can decide if that might be the exact thing that you've been looking for. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.